Let's see how these two different text functions are related to one another. In column A and B, we see some entries, and in this first cluster of information right here, I've titled in B1 what we actually want to see below, and this is manually done here. There are times when you want to replace a given character with either other characters or perhaps nothing. And you see the effect of what's happening here. Now, if we wanted to replace all the hyphens in a list like this, we could just easily jump in on the Home tab, in the extreme right, in the Editing group, Find and Select. We could do a Replace here and simply say, every time we've got a hyphen here, replace it with. We don't even have to jump into the next panel below that where it says Replace with. We'll just do a Replace All. In all hyphens, and remember there are 2 in each of that set of data there in column A. They're all replaced. And it tells us how many. Simple, straightforward. You don't need a function for that. So I'm going to click OK and close and then undo. Quick access toolbar there. But sometimes we might want to replace this either with a specific character or with something else. Let's talk about how to use the replace function here. Equal replace. And this is position based. We're not looking for text here. We're going to do this by position. But my theory at first is it says old text. You certainly can use double quotes here, but we wouldn't be working off of the data in cell A2 here, comma. And we're looking for what's in the 5th position. And in all cases here, the 5th position has a hyphen. So we put in the 5, and we only want to replace one character. It says number of characters. We want to replace one character. And what do we want to replace it with? Nothing. So just put in a comma. All done here, and we see what has happened. And of course we can copy that down and see the effect of the many ways done manually, but this is how it's done here. We are replacing the 5th character and only the 5th character with effectively nothing. Now a slight alteration here, if we wanted to replace the hyphen with some other character, or it can be a letter certainly, if you wanted to, whatever it takes here. First of all, double quotes are required, but do you want to replace this with the letter X? That's big and prominent just to show what it would do here. Something like that. And you see the effect there. And similarly, if this were multiple characters, you might put in XXX, just to show how that might work. So here we're replacing one character with 3 characters. And it looks like that. So lots of variations, and as soon as you see a few examples of these, you'll just keep that in the back of your mind here and there when you have to massage data, when the command isn't appropriate because you don't want to get rid of all characters. This is based on a character position. That's what we remove. Example over here, just for variety, same general idea. Here, the 8th character, and if you look at the original data, the 8th character is a hyphen over there, a dash, and replace that with the parentheses, USA, and so just a quick look at this, equal replace, same general idea. This is the data we're looking at. In this case, we're starting in the 8th character, and we want to replace one character over there again, but this time what we're replacing with is within double quotes, left parenthesis, USA, right parenthesis, double quote, and done. So you see how that could be done too. Quite a variety of options with this. Now, the other function called substitute, in contrast with the replace function, the substitute function is about content, not about positioning. And the description at first looks similar to the one related to replace up in row 1. But in row 7, it says substitute, remove the first dash. Now, we could remove the second dash, as you see over in column E there. This works a little bit differently. Same general idea, though. We're trying to change the content of a body of cells, group of cells, perhaps type equals substitute this time. And here's what we're looking at, comma, what we're trying to substitute for it, as the case may be, a hyphen. And what we want to put in place of that is essentially nothing, so you can just leave that argument blank, but we only want to replace the first instance of it. And there we go, and you see what's happened? The second one remains there, so we only remove the first one. And again, so you don't necessarily get the idea the substitute means remove, because it doesn't. Instead of that hyphen, we might want to put in, and again, I'll use just a different symbol, maybe it's the pound sign, double quote, pound sign, double quote, just something else to put in there, instead of the hyphen. And you see what happens there. And if we wanted to do that for all occurrences of this, if we just leave off the last argument here, This will replace all occurrences of hyphen with a pound. And there too, we might be thinking about using this by way of the command rather than actually using a function here. But if we wanted to do just the second occurrence, so put in a comma, 2, and this will change the second dash there to a pound sign. So you can see variations on how that might work. In an example on the right, similar idea. Here, we're replacing that second hyphen with XXX. And once again, a quick look at this substitute. Here's the data we're looking at. Once again, we're using that hyphen or dash here, and we want to replace that with, in this case, XXX. And we only want to do for the second example. And you see what's happening there. And that's what's done in the other cases as well. So here and there, using replace and substitute might be quite valuable when you're dealing with tons of data.